Well, I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'll tell you what I learned from that story and how I've seen it impact my day-to-day work. But I tell a story about, again, an airplane. Apparently I'm on airplanes a lot. But I was flying, it was probably 7 years ago, and I was flying with a guy that I had just started dating, and we were very excited to be on the flight together and wanted to try to sit together, and I'm sure we were so annoying to be sitting around. And he was sitting, when we got our assigned seats, we couldn't figure out a way to sit next to each other before we got on the flight, and so we got our assigned seats, and he was sitting in a window seat, and I was sitting in a middle seat, one row up, which felt like so far away, you know.
It's way too far.
Exactly. Yeah. So we sort of developed this plan that felt like it was foolproof, that I would approach the woman sitting next to him in the middle seat and say, hey, can I give you a $20 bill to swap seats with me? It felt like it was going to work because, of course, it's pretty much the same experience. Yeah. Middle seats are no one's favorite. And so who cares if you're in 21
You're already
or 22?
In a middle seat.
You're already in a middle seat and you get $20, like buy a coffee, buy a lunch, whatever. Yeah. So as I approach the woman, and I'm a little bit nervous, I don't really know why. And as I start kind of saying the word, almost immediately, there is like this visceral reaction of like, no, like I'm not doing that, like almost offense. And I was not surprised, and I guess it was my intuition that wasn't surprised, but I thought about it because I was like, it doesn't make sense. It's $20. It's the same experience. Anyways, we sat apart and survived. So sad. Exactly, I know. But what I learned was about something called the status quo bias. And the status quo bias is actually the human cognitive bias not to want to change, even if the alternative is better. So she gets a $20 bill, but for some reason, there's this skepticism to moving. She doesn't know why. It's because she's human. And so if we think about humans who are making up our workplaces, and then we think about trying to put in a large change within that organization, we're made up of a bunch of skeptics. Yes. And so you really have to tell the story in a way that is, again, bringing them into that conversation. Mm-hmm. So the challenge is, people are generally wired not to want to change, so you need to figure out a way to tell the story in a way that highlights how it will benefit them in the long term or builds that trust. You have to be really thoughtful about how you're connecting with them in the change.